Hey, how's it going, man? Appreciate you taking some time out today with me. What's going on?
I just got done training, man. I was training with my buddy Lance Palmer, helping him get ready for his karate combat match. Charles Rosa, Lucas Rosa, a couple other of my pros. We're just training, helping them get ready.
That's great, man. I guess before we get into your big news, so how is getting to train all these fighters and watching them kind of succeed and do big things? Because we've seen Lucas Rosa, he's got another fight. He's 5-0 as a pro now. He was excessive amateur background. Lance Palmer, he's been the PFL champion. Now he's doing his other thing in karate combat. Lucas Rosa, he's going to be with you at the GFL as well. So so how is all that?
Yeah, I mean, I've been coaching for the past like 4 years or so now, and Lucas was my first actual like student that like stayed with me from the very beginning. And so I put a lot of time and effort into Lucas, along with all the other coaches, Charles McCarthy and Charles Rosa, and uh, our striking coach Roger Crawl. We all kind of contribute to helping all the people get better. But I'm starting to like get together a little fight team here at our gym, and it's doing really well. Amateurs are turning into pros now, and everybody's starting to get better and better, which is good. Charles is having a great run now since his UFC run. He's won every fight. Um, everybody's winning, so it's enjoyable for me to help my friends and to help other people with what I've learned. So it's rewarding in that aspect.
Yeah, the proof is in the pudding, right? You've brought these guys and you kind of made them even better than kind of where they were, and then now they're succeeding with you. And I feel like you're doing a great job over there at American Combat Gym. So, um, you know, good things there with all you guys. But now let's get into you and your fighting career. I
Yeah.
know you haven't been fighting as much recently. You've had some injuries. You got back on track in your last fight. You're looking good, and now we're looking towards the GFL and the GFL draft. Can you kind of walk me towards how the opportunity presented itself and kind of what it entails?
Well, I guess Darren Owens was in charge of the PFL when I fought. I fought PFL against Brendan Longnane on like a 4 days notice, and it was his debut. And I went to a decision, but I feel like I beat him with a training camp, to be honest with you. But they didn't have 135, and they're actually having bantamweights at the GFL now, but they're doing like the 10-pound increments, which makes it better. So like bantamweights can now fight at their natural, like they're fighting other bantamweights but weighing 145, as opposed to featherweight can be 145 and they can weigh 155, but they're facing other featherweights that are historically featherweights. So I get to go fight bantamweight at 145, which is a real like blessing for all the fighters for sure. We don't have to worry about the weight cut as much as we normally would, and I think that's going to be like a real important change. They have a lot of changes that seems like they're doing. We're all kind of learning on the fly with the GFL right now. Like, but it looks like they're doing like a draft that's been run by the NFL draft, the NBA draft, like all those people. So it seems like it's becoming like a big thing. This might be like a whole, few hour process. I don't really know. I'm not sure. They say there's only two per weight class, but I don't know. I feel like they're going to have to need more than that for their teams to, because injuries and all the other things that are going to happen. So we'll see. It's a lot of unknowns, but it looks pretty cool.
Yeah, so like I see them, signing like hundreds of fighters,
Yeah.
but we as the people on the outside really don't know what that even entails, right? Are like for you, you're technically signed, but like, do you have an actual contract, or is it just like a promotional thing to like how does it work? Because like there has to be more to it than that they're signing 500 people. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
they give everybody contracts, but you don't have the contract take effect unless you get drafted or used by them. So that's how it works. So they write up the contract. Everybody has different numbers. I got different numbers than somebody else. I heard another thing where they might be doing something with like payroll where um, there's like a salary cap thing, but I could be wrong on that. So I don't know like if it's that. But if it is, it seems like a cool idea because like you'll have somebody like Anthony Pettis will probably have like a super high purse, or Hector Lombard, whoever else. And they're older. So is it worth having a bunch of older guys with a big salary cap? It's kind of like you see like the NBA, the NFL, where they have like the Phoenix Suns, how they got three superstars, but nobody else to really work around them. They need to build a team. So you can't just beef up at one weight class. You can't get, like I don't know if that's a fact for sure, but I heard that it might be something like that. If that's the case, I think that'd be really cool too. That's a cool concept. They're doing a lot of different things that's cool, and it's in the contract that things are able to change on the fly too. Like so, we'll see how it all unfolds. It's a team versus team concept with two per weight class. Right now, that's what I know, but everybody. Lance doesn't really know anything. Like everybody's kind of just learning as it happens, you know. So we'll see.
Yeah, that's where it kind of gets like a little hard, right? Because you have all these fighters, and then not everyone really has a clear, concise picture of what is actually going to happen. Other than you have this draft that's supposedly tonight at 8 p.m.
Yep.
And then after that, we really don't know. You're saying that there's some venues, and you have a
No,
schedule. It's going to be
they
starting.
got venues. They got
Okay,
the first event's supposed to be in Brazil in April. So that's all I know so far, and that's
okay,
it's all kind of being pitched and kind of I like the way they're building it because everybody's curious and wants to see what it is,
right,
and they're getting big names. So he's been doing this for years. It wasn't like a thing that he just did on the fly. So um, seems like they're covering all their cues. Everybody that I've talked to seems like it's legit. Like they're doing the right things and want to give back to the fighters. And there's a lot of really good things that can change the sport if it can work out.
right. I mean, I like what they're doing. Something completely different, out of the norm. The draft is actually a really cool concept.
Yeah,
You've seen it in all professional sports, and even when they did it in like WWE too, right?
yeah,
Yeah, super super smart doing something like that, and like you said, you give them an opportunity to the fighters, giving and just giving a different aspect of what they can actually do for a fighter, and put on an exciting show. And it's going to be interesting to see who they supposedly have 120 fighters that are going to be signed. So it'll be interesting to see
yeah.
who gets
Yeah.
drafted
It's
where.
weird. I'm not sure how exactly it works out, and there's not I'm sure there's going to be some biases with teams because some of these team coaches are coaches of like other gyms like Top Team and AKA and all these other things. So I'm sure there'll be some affiliation with that. But supposedly they're going to have different people in charge of the draft, so they're not going to like let the teams pick their teams as much. But I'm sure there's going to be some influence. Like there can't not be. It would be kind of weird
Right.
if there wasn't. But we'll see. I'm sure they're gonna have the people that they definitely want to sign because they have a bigger following or whatever, and you want to get eyes to the camera. So we'll see how it all unfolds. It's a lot of unknowns, but seems pretty cool.
If you had to choose, which team would you want to kind of join
I
and
don't
get
I
things
don't
going?
care. I don't care
No.
any team, and there's no obligation to go to those gyms and like learn from
Oh
them
yeah.
or anything like that either. So you can stay and do with your coaches. Just that they made that very clear. Obviously, it's an option if you want to. Like the couple of the gyms that I would really like to be with is probably I would say Ray Longo and his team over in New Jersey would be nice, or New York, whatever team they're representing. And Javier Mendez and his team at AKA, I'd like to go train with those guys too. So those would be the teams that stood out to me as far as their coaching stuff. But I mean, all of them are great. So Brazil, they have one in Florida here, but that's political. We'll see how that unfolds for me. But if we had other coaches in charge, it might be a little bit better for me to fight for Team Miami. But we'll see. You never know. Like maybe
Yeah.
I'll be pleasantly surprised and then they'll pick me. You never know.
It's definitely going to be interesting, right? Just the way things are going to pan out. Like when it comes to like fighting, right? You have your teams, and the teams have coaches and that, but you're able to have your own coaches there,
Mhm.
right, in your corner, not who your team captain is
Yeah,
per
I
se.
watched Darren do a whole thing. He did a whole breakdown on Ariel Hawani, kind of explaining like, yeah, there's no like obligation. It's an option. You can have them there, but it's not like they're the coach of the team. So like they're
Right.
gonna get whatever team awards or any of that stuff. And then not to say you shouldn't have. Maybe you will have one of them. You get three corners, so who knows? You can distribute it however you want, but it's no obligation. You have your loyalty to your teams. Your teams can coach you. It is interesting though. It brings a whole nother dynamic to it. And there's two per weight class, and people can like strategize things. So I don't know. And then there's one win in advance. So there's a lot of unknowns of things that can happen off of this. It can just be like a thing that can branch off into more. You never know. So yeah, we're all just kind of learning right now. We'll find
Right.
out tonight.
I'm like I said, it's the unknown is what's making it so intriguing and making this blow up, right? And that's
Yeah,
actually the
and they're
best
signing big
marketing
names. I think
tool.
they just signed Tony Ferguson too. Tony
Yep.
Ferguson's on it now.
Hmm.
Sage Northcutt, Page, all those people. There's a bunch of big
Even
names.
even Dylan Dennis.
Oh fuck that! That guy doesn't deserve anything. He's there for the clout, like a lot of them are. If he gets signed, then I guarantee you that's a bias for sure. Like he should not get signed by anybody. That guy is not a good MMA fighter. I don't care what anybody says. He's good, not great at jujitsu. He's good at jiu-jitsu, and he's riding that Connor train to the wheels fall off. It's working out for him though.
Yeah, I mean, look at it. Like he's getting
Talking shit on
signed.
the
He's
internet. He talks shit on the internet. Everybody wants to see him get beat up, so maybe
yep.
he'll get signed just because people want to see him get beat up. You know,
Yeah, that's crazy because he just talks himself into getting signed to one of
somehow
these
he gets all
teams.
these opportunities and boxing matches. I mean, he never did any of them because he pulled out, but still, like he had opportunities to make a lot of money.
Yeah, so it would be interesting to see if he gets signed, but I feel like that's very
That's
low.
probably just a little. I would hope. Maybe you never know. He has a jiu-jitsu experience. He has no real credentials for MMA though. There's no.
Yeah, I mean, like he went to
If you look at the
Bellator.
list of people, I'm sure it's like not even comparable. People, everybody probably is more qualified than him.
Oh yeah, absolutely. But like as far as like going forward, and what are you looking at 2025, right? I know you have the GFL thing going. If it happens, it happens. But like, what can you expect from you in your fighting career in 2025?
Yeah, I'm looking to get a fight. If I don't have this thing, we're all welcome to even right now. I had a fight scheduled for February, but the event fell through. I was supposed to fight here in Gulfstream's Casino in Florida. They were going to have a pro show
Okay.
here, and I had an opponent, and it was all set up, and it was going to happen, and then didn't happen. Either the promoter couldn't fund it, or something happened like that. So that fight just fell through. I was going to do that before this, but if the GFL happens, that's significantly more money, and not even like worth entertaining it anyway. So you know. GFL is the primary thing right now, and if I'm not drafted or not selected or not an alternate, whatever, then I'm gonna look for a fight. I'm managing all my fighters now, so I just throw my name back on that list and just circulate it around and find fights for these other guys and find fights for myself and see how it all works out. At that point, I'm just on the regional scene until a big show calls for whatever reason. But GFL would be the one that I would want to fight for.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, we're all still in limbo of what's going to happen, but you getting back out there in the region scene just gives more eyes on you and see that you're still doing your thing and
Yeah,
just getting back in there.
at the very least, it's
Um,
publicity, so there's nothing wrong with that.
no, absolutely. And then we got, I think, believe CFFC is coming down here in,
They
I
hit me up
think,
about some guys too. Yeah,
yeah, they're coming down to Tampa, I think in April, I believe, or something like that. I feel
yeah,
like that's a great card where you could, showcase your skills at, bring everybody in, pack the house.
yep,
Um, I feel like the opportunities are endless for you, right? There's a lot of great shows coming up, and you got a lot of things going on your plate, and I feel like hopefully you'll get signed, and then that's when you're making some, real good
that'd be
money.
cool. Yeah, we'll see how it all unfolds. It's all we'll see. I'm gonna say it's gonna
Yeah,
happen. It's gonna happen.
yeah, we got 7 hours to go until that happens, and I know
Yeah,
everybody will be eagerly waiting to see who gets drafted, especially yourself. But yeah, I
yeah,
mean, I appreciate your time. But before I let you go, I want to know, do you have a message for all your supporters and your fans out there that are eagerly waiting to see you get back in there and hopefully get drafted tonight?
yeah. Thank you guys so much for the support. I really appreciate it. I'm just trying to do my best and fulfill my purpose and reach my full potential, whatever that may be in my fighting career and in my coaching career. So I appreciate the support.